Chat. We are in the second part of our research study, and I have to say, I think I got to do a better job of reaching out and having some of you guys do some of these coaching chats, because when you do them, that's when you learn the most. And today I was in the process, I stumbled on another video that I know I've seen before, but I hadn't stopped and started. And I was like, wow, we have so much to draw from in our company that we are crazy. And I know we all get busy, but we're crazy not to dig in and really learn all that our company has out there for us. So last week we tackled there are 15 areas that when Juice Plus has done to date, I believe it's 47 studies. Is that right, Brenda? I'm pretty sure 47 studies to date. And so what they did was look at those 47 studies and they've combined them into 15 different areas that through the research, it's solidified particular areas of research. So last week it was on bioavailability. Of the 47 research studies, 25 of them talk about bioavailability. And last week we talked about what Dr. Bill Sears said, that if you're going to take a supplement, at a minimum, they should be able to provide for you a research on the fact that you can absorb that any kind of supplement or anything you're taking. If they can't, he's like, don't bother taking it, because you don't know if it's going to do anything or not. So that bioavailability, I think that statement, it was a twofold statement. One is, do they have a study on bioavailability, and can they prove that it does something in your body? And I think when we're talking with people, that utilizing that statement, backing it up by Dr. Bill Sears's credentials is huge, because it's going to eliminate, well, what about this? I take this. Will it do that? Will it do this? Is it as good as Juice Plus? How do you know? How would you know? And I would go back to that. We know what Juice Plus will do. 25 of our 47, 25 hit on bioavailability. That last week we talked about the immune function, and of the 47, 5 of them, there's research on the immune function and how it impacts our system. Today, we're going to talk about 2. I'm going to tackle the antioxidant protection, and then Brenda's going to tackle the dental health area. So I'm going to start by reading our research summary and what it has to say about antioxidant protection. Antioxidants protect cells against the damaging effects of free radicals. And I love, many years ago, I think it was Dr. Du Bois, it was so long ago, he had a picture of a fireplace. And he was talking about, when oxygen hits the fire, it burns harder. So oxidation is taking place even when it comes to, say, a fireplace. He had a picture of a fireplace, but as that oxygen and as it burnt, it threw out sparks, and those sparks were like the free radicals going in our body. When oxidation happens, it creates free radicals, and free radicals are what go throughout our body and damage our cells. And so here it talks about that it's damaging effects of free radicals, unstable molecules that may contribute to the aging process. So think that fireplace, the hotter it gets, the more oxidation going on, the more free radicals it's thrown out, the more damage. And he went on to talk about, and I don't even remember, I don't know if it was a talk or what, but it stuck with me. If you see someone, and I was with someone this weekend, and I was just looking, it's funny because I thought he was probably a good 10 years older than what he was when we started talking, simply because of all the aging I saw on his face was free radicals. And if it's hitting your skin, you're going to see wrinkles. It's hitting your knees, that oxidation, it's attacking your joints, your heart. depending on where the issues are. That's that free radicals attacking that particular part of your body. And I remember Dr. Du Bois talking about this oxidation process. So that oxidation is when it's kind of like the precursor to disease. So oxidation, disease, and death. So that's the progression. And so what we want to do, and what we know, one of the first studies in Juice Plus, it slows down that DNA damage, that oxidative damage, by 75%, which is naturally going to slow down that aging process. And that's exactly what we want to happen in our bodies. So oxidation, we can't help oxidation. When we breathe in oxygen, we have to have oxygen, but it's that process that begins that aging process. And I'm going to show you, to me, I think a picture is worth 1,000 words. And so let me switch over here to our Juice, or our Team Extreme website. And where we're putting all this stuff, all the videos you're seeing, we're putting it under. Let me go back to, so here's our Team Extreme website. And now all this information is going under our training section. And then here's our research summary study that we're doing now. But here's the visual I wanted us to take a look at. And this is in one of our PowerPoints that we do a lot of times. And I love this because I think it really sinks in what oxidation is. So the bad news is oxidative stress, which causes aging and disease. The good news is that there are antioxidants. And that's what our research summaries, 16 of the 47 address oxidation and the power of antioxidants. So what happens is, when we're eating those fruits and vegetables, those antioxidants are wrapping around those free radicals and protecting our body from those free radicals. And so the same is true with this apple. One side of this apple has been treated with lemon juice. So lemons are fruits. Fruits have antioxidants in them. You squeeze that lemon juice over that left side of that apple, or that right side of the apple. Look at the protection it provided. It slowed down the aging process. And if the aging process has been slowed down, that disease and rotting process has been slowed down as well. That's what's going on in our body. Now, a lot of times people will talk about antioxidant supplements. The beautiful thing is, research has been done. Antioxidant supplements cannot do this, cannot do what fruits and vegetables can do, cannot do what the Juice Plus, and that's the beautiful thing about our research, is antioxidant supplements. There is research to prove it cannot protect against oxidative stress. But because we have research on our Juice Plus products, and our Juice Plus products are whole food, our research proves that our Juice Plus can act the same way as if this lemon is doing for this apple, Juice Plus can do for our bodies. When you think about that, that is huge. If someone doesn't want to protect their body from disease, I don't know very many people don't want to protect their body from aging and looking good. So if you need to talk about that, I can't wait. In ongoing research right now that hasn't been published yet, but it will be soon, is on actually anti-aging in our Juice Plus, because of our Juice Plus, taking Juice Plus and the impact it has on anti-aging. So when you think about, good news is antioxidants in fruits and vegetables protect cells from oxidative stress. So antioxidants protect against this oxidative stress. So what we get with Juice Plus, and 16 of these studies showed research to prove that Juice Plus protects against oxidative stress. Let me go back. I interrupted myself here. I didn't finish the statement on our summary. It goes on to say numerous scientific papers have reported increased levels of antioxidants. So we know 80 days on Juice Plus increases our antioxidant levels greatly. And so the higher that antioxidant level in our body, the higher the protection in the bloodstream after taking Juice Plus capsules. This effect has been documented among various populations, including exercisers, overweight women, smokers, and more. And again, each one of these areas, I love the fact that Juice Plus didn't just stop in one category of people. And we're going to talk about these categories of people and a new video that I just saw from Dr. Manford, as he talks about these different areas that they've researched antioxidant protection in different areas. Let me scroll down here a little further. And I didn't post it in here. Okay, I'm sorry. I will get it in here shortly. Let me see if I can find. Well, I'm not sure what happened to my video, guys. Well, thank goodness for the internet, Dr. Man. Okay, here it is. It was on one of our Juice Plus TV, and it's called Oxidative Stress and Immune. I'm going to stop him right now. Oxidative Stress and Immune Health. And what he does, and let me see, I've got it written at, well, guys, I'm not too prepared here today. Okay, I think it was at 13.31.
Responsible for the Juice Plus research program.
And I want you to see, you know what, I think it was at 6.
Clear benefit for heavy smokers.
Yep.
That the oxidation. So the oxidation of lipid.
Okay, I'm going to stop, and I want to, hopefully I posted. Oh, guys, I'm not sure what happened to everything I had prepared for y'all, but we'll get it on there. Okay, what I wanted to show you again in this one as well is he talks about and shows these different categories of people that Juice Plus went and said, okay, the impact, what kind of impact does Juice Plus have on these particular categories of people? The first one he talked about here was on heavy smokers. Typically, they don't, if someone is a heavy smoker, they don't get the same reaction as somebody who is a non-smoker. The beautiful thing is once people who were smoking, because smoking is going to cause a lot more oxidative stress to the body. If you've met somebody who smokes, typically they have a lot of wrinkles, you know, around their face, around their mouth, around their face, much more impact when someone smokes in regard to oxidative stress. But what they found, so when Juice Plus was researching this oxidative stress, what they found that, let's just say a non-smoker starts here with their immune system, a smoker starts here. Typically, smokers aren't going to get the same benefits as someone who's a non-smoker, but what they saw was once they started taking Juice Plus, the smokers increased the same amount as the non-smokers. Now, they're never going to make up for the difference, but they increased by taking Juice Plus, they got the exact same benefits from where they started to where they ended, that same increase in amount of protection. That's huge. And he's talking about that in this section here. Another section that he talked about that I want, oh, this was a slide I tried to copy and I don't know what happened to it. But so he talks about on this video, he talks about the smokers. He talks about obese women and the impact of the how much more oxidation someone who is obese has on their body. And then he went into talking about people who exercise. So you're sitting there saying, well, Elaine, I thought, we're supposed to exercise. And the answer to that is yes. But the same thing if you go back to Dr. Du Bois when he talked about that fireplace analogy. To keep the fire burning, what do we have to do? We keep throwing in more logs causes more oxidation. The fire gets hotter, it burns more. The same is true for our bodies. We need to exercise, and we need to exercise to the point, if you're lifting weights, what do they tell you? You stress your muscles and you tear them down so they do what? Build back more. Well, what happens is that's all that oxidation is doing, that tearing down. And so what we really need, especially if we're training and exercising, if you're an athlete, you need even more Juice Plus to protect against the additional oxidation that you're causing your body. And it's not on here, but another whole a whole category of people who oxidation is when you go through pregnancy. You see, I remember that feeling after giving birth. You feel like you've totally been depleted from a nutritional standpoint. Women going through pregnancy is a tremendous amount of oxidation on their body. And so I'm going to encourage you guys, I'm going to make sure that this video gets put under our training section here so that you guys can take advantage of it as well. But I'm going to encourage, and I'm going to shut up here so Brenda can take over and talk about the dental studies. But this whole antioxidant realm, you guys spend a little time. It's a 30-minute video. I'm going to encourage you guys to watch it. It's a little bit deep. But when we have the ability to share with people how powerful, people don't realize why fruits and vegetables are good for them. Their mamas just told us, our mamas told us. But when you can actually explain it by it being bioavailable, helping with our immune function, antioxidant protection, dental health, when we have the ability to really spell it out for people, what have we just done? We've created credibility. So now it's not about us here. We're selling something. We want you to buy something. We're giving the reason why. We're helping them. Earlier on a call, and I can't remember who it was who said it, and maybe it was Sandy Thompson, but we're helping people find their need. They may think that they're healthy. They don't realize that simply breathing causes that oxidation process. Exercising causes that oxidation process. And we better be protecting ourselves if we want to slow down the aging process, the disease process, and then ultimately death. Juice Plus has that ability to slow that process down because of the enormous amount of antioxidants that go into our body from the fruits and vegetables in Juice Plus. All right, Brenda, I'm turning it over to you, and she's going to tackle the dental health.
Okay, and one of the things I wanted to say too with the smokers thing, as far to date, there is no other study anywhere on any other product that impacts the health of even heavy smokers. I think that's so powerful. And Dr. Sear says it's the worst legal thing you can do to your body, smoking. I said that to my son yesterday. Anyway, okay, so I'm excited to be able to share with you about dental health. And did you know that dentists can tell the state of your health by the state of your mouth? He can tell, that's the barometer of how healthy you are. That the mouth is the gateway to the body, and it shows either the good or the bad health. In medical school, physicians are taught to look at the mouth first. I didn't know that. And then in dental health, of course, that's what they concentrate on. And what Dr. That we're going to listen to in a few minutes, what Dr. Eggleston talks about is that inflammation in your mouth equals or indicates inflammation in other places in your body. And having healthy gums is such an important thing. They protect the root and the bone of our mouth. Did you know that 1/3 to 1/2 of all dental patients have gingivitis? You hear about it on commercials. The cool thing is, I had no idea about that. 1/3 to 1/2. And we have 2 research studies from the UK on our plant powders that show that in addition to, of course, we're all going to have regularly scheduled twice a year deep cleanings from our dentist. That's a given. But studies have shown that our plant-based powders are proven to protect healthy gums in terms of less pocketing. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Better attachment, less bleeding when you brush and floss, as well as less plaque accumulation. So we're going to learn lots more about that. Dr. Frank Eggleston is a hero in our business, and he specializes in restorative and operative dentistry. And we're going to watch a video from him right away where he offers advice on how proper nutrition can prevent bleeding gums and improves our overall gum health. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's see, go back here. That's not me. Okay, sorry, there we go, share my screen. Okay, there we go, there we go, and there we go. Okay, here we go. Oh boy, come on.
At JoJo, we believe in style that meets.
Okay, doctor, there we go.
We were taught in dental school that the mouth is a mirror of the body. And what we see in the mouth also reflects what's going on in the body. There's a direct relationship between good nutrition and healthy mouths. Patients come to us and talk to us about having good dental health. And we always provide them with the best toothbrushes that are available. We talk about brushing, flossing. We talk about all those things, but we also talk about a base nutritional product, and that's Juice Plus. The beauty of Juice Plus, as opposed to other things, is that Juice Plus is real. It is not isolated, it is not chemical, and that's very, very important. It's a good basic nutritional product. In 40 years of practice, I only recommended Juice Plus, and that's because of the science behind Juice Plus. And from that, we know that there are good things that happen. We know that it's doing its work.
Okay, great. So like I said, he is legendary in our business. And he says that everybody knows that brushing and flossing.
At JoJo, we believe in style that meets any moment of your life.
Okay. Okay, are you with me? Okay, great, sorry. Okay, brushing and flossing is good nutrition, but I mean, is for everybody, but good nutrition is just as critical to dental health. It helps us build a healthier body from the inside out, healthier bones, healthier nerves, healthier gum tissue. And he believes that the state of our body's health reflects the correlation between good nutrition and a healthy mouth. He says, if we see a mouth with 10 to 12 cavities, we know that equally bad things are happening in your general health. So aside from brushing and flossing, he says that a good diet with proper nutrients plays a major role in the overall health of our teeth. He says, the first dental health study, we have 2 studies that came from the UK, and the first one talks about 2 things that are very important to dentists: pocket depth and gingival attachment. He says I thought this was fascinating, that there's a pocket around every tooth, kind of think like a moat around a castle. And if that pocket gets too deep, then we go into dental problems, and because that's where the infection goes down. But also if the product is shallow, then we can actually get to that area when we floss and when we brush, and we can keep that area, that moat, clean. And so the second term, gingival attachment, is like a belt around the tooth that keeps it planted rock solid on the bone. So improving our gingival attachment leads to improved bone attachment, and the pocket depth and the gingival attachment means that we can, it's going to stay in there, and we're going to keep our teeth. He said that if there was, when they first started, they was excited about when the first studies were being done. And he said, if Juice Plus can just prove that it helps to improve either of these factors, that would be huge. But the fact that when this study came out, it proves that it improves both. it's so beyond what they expected. He says, Dr. Exel says, it corroborated what he had seen in his practice. He said patients would come in with, like I said, unhealthy bleeding gums on Juice Plus. When they get their teeth cleaned, their mouths are full of blood. He said that when he'll talk to them about, there is, we have a way to improve your health status, which is going to improve your dental health. And he said, so they go on Juice Plus and they come back a few months later and they're not bleeding, or they're bleeding very little. Their gum tissue is no longer red and inflamed. It's nice and pink and beautiful. And I'm a pink girl, I love that. And he says, to a dentist, opening a mouth and seeing that kind of attachment, that pink, healthy color, he said, that's the look of health. And he said, and that's why, in one of the first things a dentist does, even a physician does, is, stick out your tongue. And he says, that's not just to look at your tongue, but to look at your gums, because healthier gums lead to healthier teeth and a more beautiful smile. So that was the first study. When the second study came out, the question was, can Juice Plus improve post-operative quality of life after wisdom tooth extraction? Because honestly, most people at some point in their life have to have their teeth pulled, especially often their wisdom teeth. And he said this study that was gold standard, randomized, placebo-controlled, proved that there was better recovery after wisdom tooth extraction, because inflammation in your body has been dramatically reduced, because inflammation affects everything, from the level of pain you experience to, when you've had dental surgery, how much you can open your mouth, whether you're going to be able to chew, if you're going to be able to talk, how you sleep, just your day-to-day functioning. So people that have better recovery from wisdom tooth extraction due to reduced inflammation, everything is better. And he said in his 40 years of practice, and he's won every award there is for in dentistry, and actually was our lead representative with dentistry. He says in 40 years, he has recommended Juice Plus to his patients. And as a result of adding Juice Plus, his patients have returned to him across the board with reductions in periodontal pocket depth and healthier gums. And he said today, thousands of dentists have seen the benefits of Juice Plus in the mouths of their patients. And so many of them, they start on taking Juice Plus themselves, and then they have all these patients come in, and in parents and in their children, having improved dental health results in improved overall health. And I thought that was so exciting. And plus, like we were talking about, when you smile, that's the first thing people see. So I think we're just so blessed to have these incredible resources, and all these incredible representatives proving that in every area of our health, Juice Plus makes a difference.
Brenda, thank you. That's some good stuff. And I've taken notes, and I have some new ammunition to share with people. But as you're talking, one thing I didn't want to interrupt you, but I did want to share that I remember, and now I'm kind of kicking myself that I can't remember what customer of mine it was, but I had a customer come to me who literally was having their entire teeth, all of their teeth pulled because they were loose and falling out. And I remember this was years ago, before we even had any of the dental studies done. And I remember her saying, do you think Juice Plus would help? And I remember I just made my normal statement is, I don't know anyone who adds 30 raw fruits and vegetables to their body. They're not going to see good things. And so you're going to experience something good. I don't know if it'll impact it or not. And literally within a matter of a month or so, she said, I did not have to have her teeth began to tighten up, and she did not have to have her teeth pulled. You talk about that. What an impact. So
you remember your other patients, that are your other friends that went on Juice Plus, and the husband had results immediately, and she had been taking it for 6 months. Tell that story.
Yeah. And that's one of my favorite stories. This gal is a dear friend of mine who I worked with for years. I remember her, I had just started taking Juice Plus, sharing it with people. And I literally forgot to call her. And I got a phone call from her, and she said, Elaine, She goes, why have you not called me? I said, what do you mean? Why haven't I called? She goes, you haven't told me about Juice Plus. And I said, oh my gosh, I haven't. And she said, me and Tab, and this was 23 years ago, and they're still my customers today. She said, Tab and I don't take, we need to take Juice Plus. We don't do anything for our health. And I said, okay, I'll get y'all started. I got her started on Juice Plus. And a couple, I called her to check on her. And she goes, I'm mad at you. And I said, why are you mad at me? She's a dear friend. And I said, why are you mad at me? She goes, Tabs has lost weight. He feels great. He absolutely loves Juice Plus. Nothing's happening to me. Anybody else have a customer like that? Not a thing. Nothing is happening to me. And I remember saying to her, either you got to trust me that that something good's going to happen, or you got to trust, that the research that Juice Plus is going to do good things in your body. Again, we didn't have any dental research at that time. And then she goes, okay. I said, do not stop taking it. You have got to take it every single day for 4 months before you can make any decision. She goes, okay. And I said, if after 4 months you don't want to take it, I won't bother you, but you have to take it faithfully for 4 months. She said, I will. So she kept on taking it. And then a couple months, about 3 months in, she called me and I said, I know you got good news for me. And she goes, oh my gosh. She goes, I just got back from the dentist. And she said, kind of like you're saying, Brenda, she said, I opened my mouth and she said that my dentist just gasped. And she goes, it's never any good news, but he had never done that before. And she was like, oh my gosh, is it bad news? And he goes, I have never seen anyone's gums improve like yours has improved in such a short period of time. And she said, I looked at him and said, the only thing I've done different is taking Juice Plus. And she said, he just said, make sure you continue to take it. And so, anyway, so she started she's been taking Juice Plus all along. And what we realized was that, I'm sorry, I've got someone trying to a service guy come into my house and he's calling. So Brenda, would you take over and ask questions for
Sure.
a little bit?
Well, I think the biggest point is we don't know what's going to happen, but I love just being able to say, I don't know what it's going to do for you, but I know it's going to be something good, just like you said. And I think that's across the board, we're not mind readers, and it's not going to be the same way for all of us. So, I mean, with me, teeth that were so down the road for me, I wasn't even thinking. So, okay. So, are you as excited? First of all, I want to know, are you as excited about this research as we are? Because I mean, we get so pumped up about it. So who has some questions? And Rod, are you new? We're welcome. Rod, you're muted. If you go in the lower left-hand corner. There you go. I think, let me see if I can mute you. Are you there? No, not yet. Let's see. I'm trying to find. Okay. I think, are you unmuted now, Rod? No, you're still not. Do you see in the lower left hand where it says mute or unmute? For some reason, it won't let me unmute you.
Brenda, I have a question quickly.
Sure.
It's Sharon. Hi. I was just asking, where do we find that video you all just showed? And also when you were reading about the research and about the bone, how it helps with your bones, so you have a better chance of not losing your teeth. Where do we find that?
I'll go put all these videos. If you go to our Team Extreme website, and I'll show you that here in a minute. We'll post it in the chat section. It'll be a direct link into this training, and we'll drop all videos and information we talked about in that section. So,
so it won't be on boards. It'll be on the Team Extreme website.
We can get it on boards. We can, I'll get it put on boards too. At least at least the videos. I know the videos that Brenda's probably talking about is under the research section. The video that I shared probably needs to be added, and I'll make sure it gets added to boards too.
Yeah, the
Okay, thank
video
you.
that I shared will be on there. Yeah. Yeah.
Mara.
Elaine and Brenda, I just want to let you know we have a new team member who's on with us today. Her name is Jackie Felton.
Yay,
I
Jackie.
just want to welcome her to our team as well.
Welcome. Glad you're with us.
Thank you. Hello. Thank you.
Yes, welcome.
Let me ask this, and maybe you asked, and I apologize that I had to step away. When it comes to antioxidant protection or dental health, anybody have some verbiage that you guys already share when talking to somebody? So you've got my story. I'm sorry, I kind of cut my story short, but to go back to kind of finishing that story, what we realized is when people start taking Juice Plus, people are at different levels from a health standpoint. I would say her husband was probably at 0, and adding Juice Plus just took him into the way positive. My friend had just come off a really, really bad pregnancy. So her body was probably below average. So, many times we don't see what's going on in our body and how Juice Plus is healing our body. So when you're talking to people, bringing on new customers, make sure you ask those questions. What are they dealing with? So that you've captured it and you help them understand. Sometimes it takes a while just to get to neutral ground, and so some people have fantastic results, and some people maybe are in the process of having fantastic results, but they quit before they become, they comes to fruition, which would have been the case if I would have let my friend quit. I say she could have quit if she wanted, but she heard from me. I was checking in with her and found out she was struggling. She was irritated. She wasn't seeing anything. We so many times as partners are the ones who have to communicate that confidence that whether you trust me as a person, you trust the research, but you got to at least give it a good solid 4 to 6 months to get into your system. Don't make a quick decision. Oh, I've taken it 2 weeks and I haven't noticed anything. Sometimes that's our fault by not, setting the stage up front. This is not like dealing with the symptoms. This is working on a cellular level. You got to give it time and you got to consistently take it to get the results that you want to see. And so we need to do our part up front, not creating unrealistic expectations.
I would like to actually share a little observation that we just had here at home. So I signed up at the end of April and obviously took a little bit until our products arrived. Last week, by the way, we all tested positive for COVID except my older son. And my husband's been struggling a little bit, but both Ryan and I had symptoms for a day. And the only thing that's left is this fatigue that everyone is talking about, which is really very interesting. It's very exhausting, but no other symptoms. But what I wanted to share is that my husband had a mole on his leg that I have been keeping my eye on. And I kept saying to him, you got to get it checked out. You got to get it checked out. I'm not liking the look of it. And because of our construction and that what we're going through, he just hadn't had the time to make the appointment. Well, 3 days ago, he showed me his leg and he said, you're not going to believe this. Look at this mole. It crusted over and it literally fell off. And well, it didn't fall off, but it kind of crusted over. So he was rubbing it. And what's left is a very, very light remnant, which looks like a normal mole and nothing is raised, nothing. And he's like, I'm wondering if this is the Juice Plus. We've been taking it for 6 weeks. And I mean, it could be anything, but it's obviously remarkable that this is happening when we introduced a new product that we hadn't used before. So I wanted to share that with you and hopefully it's useful to somebody.
Nadia, thank you for sharing that because it brought back a story of a customer of mine who it was my next door neighbor years ago who started taking Juice Plus, and she said she had a scar on her leg since, like a raised scar on her leg since she was a child. And I always, and this is what I want to challenge y'all to do is you get new customers, follow up with them, follow up with them, follow up with them. What have you noticed? What have you noticed? How about this? How about, get as much knowledge as you can because things happen. And she goes, you're never going to believe what happened. I said, what? She goes, I've had this raised scar on my leg since childhood. She goes, that thing has nearly vanished. And she goes, and most of the time I say, I've probably heard it before. And I remember I was like, Catherine, I have not heard that one, but I believe you. And so I'm not surprised, Nadia. I have heard similar to that. So thank you for sharing.
And actually, I have another story about warts. Years ago, one of the teachers I taught with, her little boy we called him a nerve ending on wheels. His kid was hyper. And he was only like six or 7 years old, but he had over 300 warts on his body. He had 27 on one thumb, little tiny thumb. And they started on Juice Plus in the fall. They were getting ready to go on vacation. And so she told him, go get your stuff. They had burned them, they had cut them off, and they put then they'd done everything. And this was a topical thing. And so he hated it because it burned and everything. And so she told him, we got to treat these before we're going on vacation. And he kept saying, don't need to, because of course he hated it. And finally she's like, get in here, we got to get this done. And she came in and he goes, Mom, they're gone. And you could still see the scars from them, but literally in about 3 or 4 weeks, all of the warts in his body had dried up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rod,
All right.
can you talk now? I think you, I think we missed him.
Okay.
Unmuted.
All right. Well, we are over time, so we will wrap up. But next week, if you've got any comments or additions to what was said today, put it in the chat section. We'll keep adding to the training section on the Team Extreme website. And you guys, let's continue to become bulletproof when it comes to our conversations and our knowledge. And I look forward to same time, same place next week.
And it's so exciting to see all these new people too, or people.
I know.
Wow, that you just don't know what that does for us. we'll be going up and jumping up and down the rest of the day. So
absolutely. Thanks.
I love it.
Thanks for being on here, you guys. We appreciate you so much.
Great call. Thank
Thanks
you.
for all your great work.
Good job.
I see you, Renee.
Does
All right.